Hello, hello, hello. What are we doing today? Let's do the albums of Pulp, because we did Blur, didn't we? Should we do? Yeah, we're going to do Pulp now. 4-letter band. Pulp started a long, long time ago, 1978. Jarvis Cocker took his name from the Michael Caine film of the same name, directed by Mike Hodges, who also directed Get Carter, who also directed Flash Gordon and Morons from Outer Space. We don't talk about that one. So yeah, they were called Pulp. And then they were for a while called Arabicus Pulp. And then in 1983, they got a record deal, and their first album was released. It was called It. He says it was called It, and it sold nothing. Now, normally I'd say, you know, with the bands, I usually say start at the beginning. But Pulp's one of those bands. It's a bit like the Red Hot Chili Peppers in that respect, where you go, yeah, first few albums, but not very good. It's not very good. It's just there were a lot of. If you listen to it, there were a lot of bands doing very similar things at the time. It doesn't have necessarily any of the humour or the insight or even the musical ability that their later albums has. It's a very naive recording, and they sound again somewhere between the Smiths and the Fall. In fact, well, we'll save that for the next album. But so you get an idea of the kind of music it was. Again, it's very earnest stuff. The music itself is, again, it's you can hear it's a band who's, you know, the players aren't players. It's the first faltering steps. Even Cocker himself, you know, he's a bit shy. He's a bit shy of it. So it's a very unusual record in that respect. It's unusual that you think, how the hell did it get recorded? You know, why would anyone give them money to record it? Because, you know, it's not very good, and it's, you know, demo quality in some places. You know, it's not all bad. There's one track. Which one is it? Is it the? There's one track on it where, again, I didn't write notes. I think it's Love Love, where the trombone and the mandolin comes out, and it goes a bit funky. Again, there's been reissues over the years. You get a bonus track on the later issues. Again, it's been reissued many times as an album. Originally, it was only 7 tracks and lasted 25 minutes long. But then, you know, as time's gone, they've extended it to like a half an hour version, and then latterly more remixes and things. The 2012 version on Fire Records had another 4 tracks on it, which, again, it really doesn't bring anything else to the party. So yeah, what you're hearing is you know, Jarvis Cocker feeling his way, and he continues to feel his way on the next couple of albums. So yeah, is it something you want to check out? I would say no. Maybe when you've done all the albums, you can go back. When I first got into Pulp, well, I got in on His and Hers, so it would have been 94. But then later, you saw this early material constantly repackaged and reformatted in various CDs and that, and taking on the art style of their current sleeves and everything. So it was quite hard to avoid it, and it was a bit annoying. Like I said, there was a lot of opportunism once they hit the big time. But yeah, this one, yeah, it's not a good one. It's not a good one. The only person of note else is a fellow called Simon Hinkler, who wanted to be in The Mission. He also produces the record too. But yeah, it's a curious mini LP. That's what it was back in the day. It was I think 2,000 copies were pressed originally on vinyl, and yeah, I mean, if you want to be a cult, this is how you go about it. And yeah, something to go back to, something to check out when you've done the whole catalogue and you can see how and where they started, because this really isn't Pulp as you might know it. You know, this is a different band. There are indications, you know, some of the melodies, some of the instrumentation they use, you go, oh, it's just tiny little glimpses of it, but it is very, very similar to a lot of other material that was out there back in 1983. So yeah, on the strength of this one, if you just came to this one, you'd think this band's never going to make it, but it will be another 11 years before everyone started to take notice of a curious little band from Sheffield called Pulp. And this is the beginning of our journey. It's only a short one because it's a short album, and I don't really have much else to say to it. The genre on the Wikipedia page which I've got open here, they call it indie folk. It's a bit fey, it's a bit twee. I suppose it could be a bit folky, but again, if you listen to this, you would never believe the band would headline Glastonbury and be as well loved as they are now. You'd never believe it. It's one of those weird things where the caterpillar, instead of turning into a moth, turns into a beautiful butterfly. But yeah, these albums you can stream them. I streamed this one off of YouTube Music because I sold my copy years ago and I didn't bother to rip it. That's how well I thought of it. So I did a refresher using the streaming services. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you don't, and we'll be doing this all again with the next one, which will be we're going 4 years into the future. Darren's maths wasn't very good, and we're looking at Freaks, which is the next one, which again we're edging towards Pulp, its final form. Thank you for watching. There's no more thing left to say, and this has been it. I've been talking about Pulp, and that's it. Ta-da!